Welcome back, folks. We are here for our second cash game session at the Wynn in Vegas. No time to waste. We had a very rough session yesterday. Let's get straight to the action, try to win back some money.
Okay, folks, kicking things off, we open up the 8-7 off on the button to 15. Only the big blind defends. Flop comes down, ace, 6, 5, rainbow. Not too bad. He checks it over to me, and I'm going to size up here on this ace, 6, 5 board, and I go ahead and pretty much pot it to 25. My opponent is undeterred by this and goes for a pretty large check raise, facing a pot size bet to $80. He's probably just got ace 6 or ace 5 here, maybe 6, 5. I just don't see him having a bluff here. But we have a very strong draw. Let's try and hit it. I make the call. We head to the turn. It is the 3 of clubs. My opponent continues betting, this time for 155. Looks about 3/4. If we hit a 4, we could cooler him if he does happen to have like 6, 7 or something, which I just doubt he ever has. But we hit a 9. It's pretty disguised. I think it's just too soon to fold, so I toss in the call. We go to the river. It is the 9 of diamonds. We hit the nut straight on the river. And I am praying my opponent continues betting. As he's thinking it over, he does bet. And it's pretty big too, 255. It's looking about half pot. I look over his stack and it looks like he's got around 700 behind, but I'm terrible at counting chips, and he's actually got about 1,000 behind. I think my decision would have been the same anyways, knowing that he had 1,000 behind. But anyways, I thought he only had 700, and I move all in. And he gives it quite a bit of thought. He is deep in the tank, thinking it over. I didn't get any bluffs through yesterday. Why can't I just get this value paid? Come on. And he decides on a fold. Oh well, but anyways, picking up $500 to start off this session, a much better start than yesterday. Moving things along, we open up the pocket kings facing a limp up to 25, and only the limper makes the call. We go heads up to his flop, which comes down jack, 8, 5, 2 spades, and a diamond. Pretty good board here, and I kick things off with a c-bet of 25, which my opponent calls very quickly. Off to the turn, it is the 7 of spades. Checks it over to me, and really wanted to pot this turn to set up a nice pot-sized river bet. But I think given how wet this board is, we're going to want to go with something a little bit more conservative here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in a bet of 60. And we're hoping not to get raised here. If I get raised, it's going to be kind of gross. We probably call it off, but not loving it. But my opponent just decides on a call. So we're heading to the river. It is the 3 of hearts, a beautiful brick. He checks it over to me once again, and versus this player, we're going to go for all of it. We're never beat here. We definitely have the best hand, and I think that he could get a little bit hero call happy, considering he's a recreational. So I go ahead and move all in, $340 into the middle, hoping to get a nice big pot. My opponent decides to fold. Damn it, we're not getting paid today. That's all right. We're up to about 2,400, so a very nice start to this session. On to the next hand, we have a limp to 10. I bump up the 10-9 of spades up to $50. Big blind overcalls, under the gun, folds, and hijack makes the call. So we're going 3 ways to this flop, which comes down to 5, 5, 3. No help to us. I am just going to check this one. We're out of position. It's not looking good, but action checks all the way through. We head to the turn. It's a nice one. It's a 6 of spades, improving us to a flush draw. I check. Big blind now puts in a pretty hefty bet, 105. Hijack makes the call, and I don't think we can go anywhere for this price, so I make the call as well. Off to the river. It is the queen of diamonds. I check it over, and now big blind checks, and now hijack puts in a bet of 250. And I'm thinking it over, and I think that this is an amazing spot here for a min raise. So hijack, I just don't believe he has anything here. He either has a full house to trap the flop, or literally just nothing. But I'm very concerned about big blind. Big blind clearly has a pocket pair after betting so big on the turn, and it's something in the range of 7s to jacks. I'm quite surprised he didn't bet the flop, but he could also just have a trapped full house playing this way. So I decide to fold. Big blind tank for quite a while, and then did make the call of pocket 9s, and he was good against hijack's ace high. I just don't think it's getting through pocket 9s if I check raise there though. Anyways, on to the next hand. We have a middle position raised to 20. I looked down at 10, 8 of diamonds, I decide to go for the re-raise here. Putting in the pressure, I bump it up to 65. And the original raiser makes the call. We go heads up to a pretty nice flop. It's ace, jack, 9, all spades. Action checks to me. I go for a quarter pot bet here of 35, which my opponent calls. We head to the turn and we do improve a little bit. It's the 8 of hearts here. Middle position checks it once again, and I decide to continue barreling with a little bit more equity, and I put in a wager of 105. Middle position, waste no time at all in check raising to 250. My goodness, I'm facing so much post-flop aggression. It is insane. How do they always have it? I don't get it. All right, we fold. Disciplined, and we've lost almost all our profits now. Under the gun has opened it up to 20. I decide to call with the pocket sevens and the low jack before small blind puts in the re-raise up to $90. Big blind folds, under the gun folds, and that is a very reasonable price. Less than 5x out of position, so I'm gonna give him some action. I make the call, and we go heads up to a flop, which comes down 9-7-4. We've made a strong hand. Small blind now puts in a wager of 100. I'm not gonna raise him here. I just decide to call. The turn is not great. It's the 10 of clubs introducing the flush draw. My opponent now checks, and we're going to want to continue barreling here. SPR is looking about 1.5. We kind of want to get the money in, so I decide on a wager of 200. My opponent wastes no time at all and jams all in. Like I said, we're facing so much aggression. But anyways, we have sevens this time. We make the call. We're up against pocket aces without a club, the river, the 3 of hearts, and we're going to scoop. And we're back up to just over 2,500 in our stack. So once again, having a good day. Okay, on to this next hand. The recreational player has limped, and I'm looking to play a lot of pots with him. So I bump this up to $30 in the small blind with a king jack, and only he makes a call. We go heads up to this flop, which comes down queen, 10, deuce, 2 clubs, and a spade. I'm going to start with a small bet here. I put in 20, and now he goes for a very interesting raise up to 100. My goodness, I'm getting raised so often post-flop. But something interesting about this, he did the same thing on a limp call when I think I had ace 10 and the board was ace king 4. And I just folded it on the flop. He check raised like from 30 up to like 150. And I just got the sense that he had flopped 2 pair or something. But then he also did it again on ace queen deuce against another player where he check raised super big. And this is all in the span of an hour. So he's doing this once again. And there's no way he's just got value all 3 times. Like, I think this line might be a little bit bluffy. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the 3 bet here. It doesn't have to be too big. I make it 250 to go. He looks at me, looks at his stack, and ships it all in. Oh my God. Oh, this is crazy. For this price, I think we just have to call it off. I tried to do a bit of math. We're calling 500 to win 1,700 or so. I feel like it's a call, especially the backdoor flush draw. Our over might be live. He could be on a draw. I don't know. I make the call. We go to the turn. It is the 8 of diamonds, no help. The river, 5 of hearts, and we're up against the queen deuce offsuit. That is crazy. And all of our profits are gone on that one bad read. That's crazy. He's just had 2 pairs in 3 spots like that, I think. Oh well. We're still up for the day, so let's continue battling. Okay, once again, playing against the same opponent. We open up the queen, 10 off, and the low jack up to 20. We get a caller from the button, and as well the same player from the small blind. So we're 3 ways to this flop, which comes down okay. It's queen, 4, 3, rainbow. Action checks to me. We're out of position. Our queen's not that strong. I decide to go for a check here, and button checks behind as well. Off to the turn, it is the 9 of hearts. Action once again checks to me, and definitely time to start building this pot. I put in a bet of 50. Button folds, and small blind makes the call. We go to the river. It's very good. It is the queen of clubs, improving us to trips. But also, if he's got a 9, it's going to be a lot harder for him to lay it down. So when he checks it to me, I'm going to go for a bit of an exploit here and go for an overbet. 240 into the middle, and my opponent snap folds. Damn it. All right, once again, playing against the same opponent. We open up the jack, 9 of spades, and we get 3 bet to 50, but the player from last hand goes for the cold call on the button. When it falls back to us, we are definitely getting into the mix with our jack 9 suited. We go 3 ways to this flop, which comes down very good. Jack, 9, 6, 2 hearts, and a diamond. Been hitting a lot of 2 pairs these last 2 days. I start with a check, cut off, now puts in a bet of 75. Button makes a call, and definitely time to put in the re-raise here. I make it 250 to go. Cut off was definitely c-betting too light. Does make the fold. I think he had like ace king or something. But button does continue. Very good news. We go to the turn. It's not great. It's the king of diamonds. So now there's 2 flush draws, and queen 10 did get there. So we're losing to 1 hand now. But it's going to have to be like queen 10 suited, and there's only 4 combos of that, so I'm not too worried. And now I look over to stack, and I thought he got around 900, but he didn't. It was tough to see his chips. He's a recreational, so they're not placed properly, but I thought he had about 900, which is just slightly over pot. And I think I would jam here with all my draws. All right, if I've got 10-8, it's jamming. If I got hearts, they're jamming. So I'm going to go ahead and jam with all my nutted hands as well, so my 2 pairs and my sets. That's what I do. 1.2k into the middle, which I thought was 900, and he snap calls. Oh my god. No way. Oh boy, we go to the river. It is the 7 of hearts, a really bad card. I show. He's got the king jack offsuit. Cold call of a 3-bet. Oh my goodness. And just like that, his 2 pair has crippled our stack twice in a row, and now we are down $1,500 for the day. In this next hand, our friend has once again gotten involved in a pot. He has limped in middle position, and one of the regs has now tried to ISO him up to $30 in the cutoff. Folds around to me in the big blind, and normally I would 3-bet this 100%, especially against cutoff, but I want to give middle position a chance to join the pot as well, as we do want to play pots with him. So I make the call, and he folds? This man called queen deuce offsuit to a $30 raise, and now he folds? What garbage did he have? Did the dealer only give him 1 hand? Or 1 card? Anyways, now we're going heads up to a very good flop. Another 2 pair for us. Ace, queen, 4. We are hitting so many 2 pairs. Let's pray that this one is good. I check it over, cut off, puts in a bet of 30. A little bit weird sizing from him. I think you don't really want to go like 40% here, but anyways, I'm just going to go for the call here, set the trap, and we go to the turn. It is the 10 of hearts, introducing 2 flush draws. I check once again, and now we face an overbet of 200 into the middle. Not feeling great about it, but he's definitely going to play some ace kings this way, probably ace jack as well. Should be good enough here. So it's too soon to fold. I toss in the call. We go to the river. It is the 9 of spades. Doesn't change anything. I check, and he puts in another very large bet of 750. Like I said, guys, live poker, I've never seen an overbet that was a bluff. I've never seen an overbet that was a bluff. We have top 2. Our hand is so under-repped. What if he's doing this with ace 10 or queen 10, 10-9? No, that doesn't make sense. You know, what if he has a worse 2 pair? I mean, we've under-repped our hand like crazy. If he didn't overbet, I was going to raise anyways. Oh, man, I should just fold. This is just king jack every time. It's just king jack every time. But I can't bring myself to make the hero fold. I've made way too many over the last 2 days. I make the call, I slip up, and he has the king jack, which is so frustrating because if I 3-bet pre-flop, he just folds. But I tried to keep the recreational in, who folded. Just like that, we book another back-to-back brutal loss, getting absolutely smoked.
Okay, folks, unfortunately, another very, very, very tough session for us. We lost $2,511. Couldn't really get anything going. Just couldn't find the proper hero folds. You know, it just feels like I'm folding absurdly strong hands constantly. And I can't have it every time, but they just do. But such is the nature of a downswing and a very, very rough year in poker for me. Anyways, still have a few more days here in Vegas, so we'll come back tomorrow. We'll get them back. I'll see you then.